You can always throw in anybody.
Of note, the charges that were dropped on the other ones were in fact assault already. They were booked for it, and then nobody pressed charges.
Yeah. So I'd say... No, you know what? So the other guys are booked for something, but nobody's pressing charges. And...
Right, these are like old crimes. Like, they must have gotten into some kind of bar fight and nobody actually followed up.
And all of the things that we know of were destroyed. I would say, since this guy was so cooperative, we just let him go.
Alright, they'll go ahead and take the recommendation and ask you for your own debrief of it so that they can have notes. They might try to do some talking themselves before they let them go, but if what you provide is good enough, they'll probably go ahead and do so.
Yeah, so he's going to pretty much relay that he communicated with his employer by mail, to which he has an address, which he's going to share with them. That the weaponry, air quotes, is not actually as dangerous as it seems, but could still be used as a significant source of property damage. And that it was falsely advertised, but that's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. Still, it could be dangerous to have this person supplying equipment directly to gangs. So he'd recommend looking into this location. And this Mr. Wonderful character. Yes.
So the mailing address is across state lines, so let's just say that's just outside of our jurisdiction in general, but you're a federal investigator.
I can do what I want!
So you can do whatever the hell you want. But if you give them the garage address, they say that they'll send a patrol car out there.
Yeah. We would definitely do that.
Okay. Do you have any immediate plans for the future?
Whew, I have had a rough time in Oh no, shit! I went to sleep. Never mind.
Yeah, you did at least sleep and come back in the morning.
Yeah. I think he might head down to his own dry bar. It's been a rough couple days, and nothing like some day drinking to get that out of the way. Of course, not alcoholic day drinking, but
of course, you're a fine, upstanding officer of the law.
Of course.
Let me see what the name of that place was again, because I got it written down here.
I believe it
you
was.
are going to go hang out at the creek.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and set you over here, and you are out there for now.
Nice.
And so now we'll go ahead and transition over to Claudia. Claudia, you've had a good night's sleep after staying up a little bit too late. And of course, your butler rings you down for breakfast once it's done. And we'll start yawning on about, management aspects of the estates. Like, oh, well, you see, the garden needs to be replanted, so we're assigning a little bit more for that from the fund.
Yes. Well, two things. First, I read the morning paper, so I read that story that we saw.
Yes.
A little worried about Emmett. I take it there's no messages? No one's called?
No messages this morning, ma'am.
All right. So after performing my morning ablutions, I will then go to the trophy room and examine this gun. Like I said, I had a bunch of questions of, how does it project the glue? Does it have a pneumatic reservoir?
Okay. Let me go ahead and wander down to that section of my notes, and I'll go ahead and give you the description that doesn't require any...
Yeah, air rifles have been around crummy heck since, like, the 18th century.
Okay.
So...
Yep, indeed. Let's see. The look of the weapon. The open nozzle and tubing on the sides of it kind of remind you of a mixture between garden equipment and a children's toy, made to seem real. It has real metal plating around what seems to be a wooden interior, but it has a handle and pistol grip with a trigger. In your hands, it feels almost like a rifle, but where the magazine would be instead is a glass vial. Inside of the wide glass vial is an opaque orange liquid that clings to itself and runs slowly when tilted. At the moment, the vial is half empty. By looking at it, you can tell that it does seem like there's a bit of a pneumatic trigger attached to this. You could strip off the metal plates if you wanted to get a real look at it, but at least that doesn't seem unorthodox.
No, instead I will. I'll go outside, set up. Since I'm rich, I can't just have target shooting. I'll set up a marble bust and then shoot it with this gun.
Ah, yes, rich people, as you are wont to. You go ahead and
Uh,
set up the marble
you
bus.
describe it as it's shaped like a rifle. I would thought it would be shorter and blunter like a carbine, but it's actually pretty long.
It looks like it's been made to pretend to be longer. But if you were
Interesting.
just to kind of compress it a little bit, maybe wind up some hose inside of it, it would probably be less than a carbine.
No, I'm not going to change it to a bullpup. Okay, no, I just want to test fire it. What does it do to the marble bust?
Let me scroll around. I was looking for the statistics I have on it. I'm just gonna cover. Let's see. You are using it on marble. Go ahead and roll me body, will, and shooting with damage +2.
Oh wow, so that's really quite a kick then.
It comes out in a simple fluid motion without a lot of recoil, but
Well, why is it body, will, and shooting then instead of like speed or mind?
good question. I should go ahead and change that at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm a veteran shooter. I mean, 2 successes, so I hit the marble bust. Squirt.
There you go. And as the liquid comes out, it comes out green. And as it settles in on the bus, at first it sort of sits there and bubbles for a moment, but you slowly start to see the silhouette of the object is shrinking and vanishing underneath the green opaque liquid.
Wow, it
Until
eats
there
stone.
isn't a marble bust left.
What is the? Well, it doesn't evaporate. It turns into some. It melts, right?
There doesn't seem to be a lot of presence of it left.
Wow, is there any odor?
There's a fresh scent of lavender, actually.
This is horrifying. It's like I'm just gonna like look at that like with a look of like disgust and do not want on my face. It's like
Right.
so
You take a look back at the marble pillar it was sitting on top too, and parts of it too have dissolved and seemingly vanished. There's hardly even a pool at the bottom of this.
But the gun itself is made out of metal and wood.
So it would seem, yes.
Well, the liquid itself is in all metal parts, right? It's not the stock is wood, or is like parts of the barrel wood.
Parts of the stock and interior appear to be made out of wood. And of
Hmm.
course the hoses are made out of some kind of rubber.
And I'm guessing a casual glance is not going to identify what metal this is.
You could tink the sides of it and take a guess if you want.
Well, is it gunmetal? Is it, or is it something unusual?
It definitely seems cheaper.
Well, at this
If you
time, like
wanted to
things
know
like
for sure, you could take a roll.
I mean, I am schooled because I'm a
Yep,
rich
mind
person.
and academics could probably tell you, well, you want about metal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. While I am schooled, I'm not very well schooled.
It's definitely a metal, but it's pretty thin. It would serve no real purpose.
When it was fired, it changed color and it dissolves, leaving no. I mean, this is like the ultimate hitman weapon. It completely removes the corpse, leaving no evidence behind. This is horrifying. I'm at the bottom
I do
of this.
agree, ma'am. That was quite, I suppose I should get the hose and wash this away.
Well, I probably should cover it with sand and bury it somewhere else. I need a train ticket to I need the first available train ticket to Jersey City. I'll get my go bag.
Yes, ma'am, right away. I'll have the car going for you as well.
And yeah, that said, it's off to the address listed here as the address of business in the catalog.
Okay. So you are on your way to Jersey City. Let me go ahead and do train to Jersey. I don't know if I spelled that right. I'm terrible at spelling. All right. So you're on your way out. and Dante and Zamek. Just to cover a little bit from last night, you have the truck. What did you two decide to do with that?
Oh, me? I still have the truck. We
Oh
parked
no,
that in.
Dante and Zamek.
Oh, they have the truck. That's what I thought.
I
That's
have
right.
the
You did
truck.
drive out through the back of it, across the tracks and away from all danger.
Well, since I have the transport skill, I assume I take possession of the truck. Since
Right, you are driving it.
Um.
But you just sort of
Yeah.
park it out back by the theater, or
Yeah. I guess this is a company truck now, so we'll just drive it over to the theater, and yeah. I guess I'll have to have a job of painting it up and making it not look like a delivery truck anymore. But yeah.
right. You do a quick look through, and you don't find another shotgun underneath the seats this time, thank God. Uh, but you do find a magazine inside the glove box, and a little bit of insurance information.
What does the magazine say?
The magazine is in fact the same one that has been seen before by others. It is the Mr. Wonderful sales catalog down in evidence.
Ah, okay. So, all right. I don't know what this is, but you guys talked about it. Okay, so I'm flipping through this catalog. Do I see the glue gun or the whatever the thing that the guys were selling at the warehouse?
Absolutely. This one isn't circled, unfortunately, but you do see the advertisement within it.
Okay, I go, that's interesting. And I guess I just toss it back under the seat. Um, and I check to make sure everything's okay with the truck. And remember, I also have the other special package.
Oh, yes, of course. I think you already told me what you kind of intended to do with it.
Yes. So so yeah, I make sure the other special package is in my possession. And I guess is there anything going to happen right away? Because I guess my plan would be to tell you what I said I was going to do with it.
No, nothing is happening right away. This is all up to you. So if you want to go ahead and handle that, you definitely can.
All right. So since I sent it to you as a private message, I quickly disappear like a cat slinking in the night with my special package. In fact, I take the truck.
Actually,
nice...
before you sneak away, I grab you by the collar.
And I go,
I think not, Zamek. We do have a conversation to have, as agreed upon. Come, this way.
And I go, listen. We'll have a talk in a bit, but I just have to take care of something.
No. I think not. We agreed. You will come. We will talk.
Fine. Okay. Sure thing, boss. And I took the package under my arm and I follow him into the theater.
You know, before I said all this, I forgot what your package was. Now I just remembered, and I'm hoping it's not like on a timer.
Boss, it seems to be ticking for some reason.
Is it ticking?
No.
Okay. I was assuming it was some sort of fuse we had a light or something.
Right, yes. You would definitely have to try to activate it to make it happen.
Okay.
Anyways.
However, I am treating it very carefully, gingerly, like, you know. I'm not very cavalier with this package.
But yes, I'm gonna lead you back through the place to, I guess, the fitting room, changing room area, where I'm going to take a seat in front of a large mirror and gesture for you to take a seat as well.
Okay. I hop a squat.
Now, as previously discussed, in order for me to have come help you, you must now come help me on a matter of some urgency tomorrow.
Absolutely. Whatever you need. I'm always at your disposal.
Yes. There is a small town not too far from here, called Willow Springs. Have you ever heard of it?
Man, I don't even know where I am half the time.
You do remember you passed through Willow Spring and quite a ways past it to get to the farmhouse.
Okay, so then yeah, I'm sorry. Retract that. Yes, Willow Springs, wonderful place.
I feel like I'm taking my gloves off and dropping the hat down on the table. Yes, is a thing there that I think that you might be able to look at better than most, you know, what with your gifts and all.
Oh, okay. Well, look at that. It's very convenient. I just happen to need to take a trip down there anyway, so I'll just swing by. I'll take a look at the thing, and sure thing. I'll get back to you.
I feel like I'm giving you like a half-lit look at now. You know, Zamek, I think this place does something to people. You were so subdued before you came here, and now look at you, so antsy, so energetic. It's very weird.
I don't know. I just feel my ancestors are stirring, and I feel like I have to take action now.
Long sigh. Look at you. Alright, whatever it is, go handle your business. Just make sure that if you're going to keep the truck, scrub it clean. Make sure it's not identifiable. Be sure you take care of any insurance papers that might be in the truck and identify it as its original people.
Got it. Yeah. Oh, that's that stuff. Okay, thank you, boss. No problem. Zamek is not a very literate person.
I also imagine it's only funny to us right now, but I would have been in the passenger seat as you were going through everything, so...
And I just checked the thing. Oh, whatever. That's interesting.
Look down at you looking at the insurance paper, toss it back in, like, what the fuck?
Okay. So yeah, carefully putting the package next to me back in the truck. I go reach in and I take the insurance papers, and I guess I just take a lighter or a set of matches and I just set it on fire and then I throw it down on the ground next to me as I pull out. And I take a trip. Well, actually, before I leave, I go, well, Dante, could you at least tell me what is it that I'm supposed to be checking out and why is it so special?
I feel like there is a moment of hesitation at first as he looks at you, and then he looks at himself in the mirror, and there's like a moment of fear in his eyes, and then he looks back at you and says, I think this is something best explained tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. When the sun comes up. Tomorrow.
It is
Okay.
morning right now, by the way.
Well, remember, we said we would have this conversation that
Okay,
night.
that's fair.
Yeah. So I assume whatever he's about to do, he would do that night. Unless we had this
Alright.
giant warehouse kerfuffle well in the morning.
Well, it was about midnight at the time, but yeah. So you handle the car, head off to sleep, and reconvene tomorrow then.
All right, then. That's what we'll do.
Well, you wanted to handle the bomb thing, though, right?
Yeah, but I already went over that. I thought we were rehashing that, but since you added your thing, that's fine. It still aligns with what I want to do. So I handled the package the way I was going to handle the package.
Oh, you're doing it in secret. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
It's in a secret location not even I know.
Okay.
So the two of you intend to head out to Willow Springs, correct?
Correct.
Are you taking the truck out there or some other means?
Oh no, we're taking the truck, man. I just got these wheels.
Excellent.
I've spent the whole morning. I spent the whole morning painting it a forest green type of color. I tell Dante I found a discount at the store. It's on sale.
It looks absolutely horrendous, but it does look different.
Same.
As the paint begins to dry.
Same license plate, same everything.
Yes. Well, as the paint begins to dry, the two of you will drive out to Willow Springs. I'll go ahead and just, we'll just look at this for a moment. Willow Springs. The morning starts with a light shower all the way out to Willow Springs. Though the rain stops by the time you arrive, the place is damp and the sky is still overcast. For a summer day, it's made the weather nice and cool. The town has changed very little from what you remember, Dante. Quiet neighborhood of homes, a main street full of tailors, bakers, and general stores full of tools to attend to farmers around the area. The only thing that really seems to have changed now is that there's a Waystone automotive repair shop on the edge of town, with a gas pump out front. You glance at the people through store windows, and they carry on just as you remember them. Slow, lethargic, and with nothing better to do. It's a town where nothing would ever happen. So you are driving down the main street. Where do you intend to go, Dante? What do you intend to do?
Well, I mean, I would be directing Zamek, since Zamek is the driver. But I imagine it's something like, yes, turn here, and then maybe a left or a right. Right? Directing him towards where I think the best entry to the forest around Willow Springs is.
All right.
And I'm
You
just
still
and I'm
kind
just
of
merrily
remember the-
whistling, and I'm just merrily whistling behind the steering wheel.
All right. You still very much remember the way to get to the woods as you did as a child. I will go ahead and go to the woods. It's a little foggy out today. But with the truck, it's more than easy enough to just take a little dip off the road and drive out across what's ultimately an unowned clearing out, out towards Cranberry Woods.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh, yes, you mentioned this. Was the nature area that you wanted to check out."
Zamek, just stop here, please. Please stop. Please stop!
And you see me slam on the brakes.
Alright, I'm already white-knuckled in the seat. Yes, if we could...
Obviously, picking up Dante, do I sense anything?
From here, what do you have to sense magical presences?
Let's see what I have. Okay.
I think that would normally be relegated to some kind of power. Well, maybe not. You've already noticed magic in the past.
I am a shaman. I have observation, academics, presence.
Do you have a petition to power? Is that what you have?
We have a petition power. I'm looking at my.
It would be a gift.
Yeah, let me see what gifts I have. I mean, I guess I could do a challenge of faith, but I would need to know what kind of creature.
Well, I just meant petition
presence.
to power is the thing that would, I think, in your shaman thing, let you use rituals. I don't know if petition power has a thing that would also let you to, know it's supernatural.
Petition power just lets you cast spells and in the name of another.
Right, but it doesn't have a thing that lets him see magic stuff.
You need a spell that does that.
Yeah,
right. And so far, it's mostly been going off of assumptions and observations.
Right.
You go, this magic seems like it's something that was probably caused by a magic rather than a mundane one, rather than a directly observing anything.
So, yeah, the only thing I can think of is could I use challenge of faith? Because, I mean, if I brandish a symbol of my faith, I can call out the true name of the supernatural being that is in my presence.
You could definitely try to cast it if you want, but let me see. Where did I put your rituals?
Yeah, with petition power, you have to petition a specific otherworldly being to cast the spell.
Right. And in particular, if I remember, Challenge of Faith, it's usually to ward something away. Which, if there's anything here, I guess you probably will upset it, yes.
My question would be, what entity would you invoke?
Oh, the spirits of my ancestors.
Oh, cool.
Um, that's what I was asking. Could I alter the challenge of faith to actually detect something versus, pissing it off?
You might need to write a brand new ritual to do so.
The
Okay.
usual way to find out if anything's there is each entity has listed a ritual you can use to petition that entity advice.
Yes.
So if you had one of those rituals petition for advice, then they might tell you something. Right now, it sounds like all you guys challenge of faith, which is you know how to get rid of things.
I do have well. Here's a weird thing because I have ancestral
You do
guidance.
have one that is exactly for that purpose, as designed.
Right. Okay, so you recite stories and legends of your ancestors to an audience, even a small one. When done, you cast salt into a fire, and you will hear voices of spirits whisper in your ears. They will they will tell you what you must do next to honor them and improve their opinion.
Right. So you could use that to kind of ask them, but remember, anytime you petition for power, you have to roll their opinion die of you, and their opinion die could drop by one size.
Right, and sometimes it'll drop in size if you don't do anything in a while.
So
As
yeah,
with
you
any
could.
entity, honestly.
So you could cast that, but just worry that you're, like risking the power. So I mean,
I got
but
that.
like
Okay,
people
you're
have
right.
asked me, like, why is it so easy to cast spells? It's because you can burn them out.
Right. My real concern is, of course, the burnout. It's like, well, you don't have opinion die anymore. How can you ask them for how to improve your opinion now? That would be a
That
bad
would be messed
situation.
up. Okay, so I guess I'll just have to shelve that for a moment. So I look at Dante and I just go, why are you so nervous?
I do not wish to dissuade you from your actions, nor do I wish to taint what you might find out there or what you may detect by telling you things. I just say this to you. Be careful and keep the truck running.
Well, yeah, that's totally that's totally uplifting. Thanks, boss. Do I keep going or are we gonna get off the truck?
Oh yes, no, this is the spot. You just get out here.
All right. I get out the truck. I look around. What do I see? Or what do I
You
feel?
see a forest. It opens up into a mix of black cherry and elm trees, and though it's thin at the margins, it thickens quickly, and the terrain becomes more wild and covered in thick leaves and grasses. Uh, you can tell even from a short distance, there's a couple of shadow cliffs and inclines around that indicate you should maybe watch your step. And in fact, Dante, you see something you've never seen before in this area. A sign. It is a sign with a cliff warning you not to be aware that you could fall and break your leg.
All right. What do my instincts tell me? I guess can I make an observation
You
mind
could make
roll?
an observation. What would you be looking for?
I guess for whatever he's freaked out about.
All right, so mind observation, obviously, and what else would you try to throw in on this?
Well, I'm going to say, as my experience of a shaman, I do have academics, and I'm going to say at least I want to draw upon my previous experience and see if there's any like
Okay,
locations that I should be
I'll
checking out.
I'll allow academics then. So let's go ahead and give that a go.
All right, so that's a 3d6 plus a 1d8.
I mean,
Nice.
I'd argue for I was helping him out, but I'm obviously so very much not helping him right now.
All
Very
right,
much
so
cowering.
Yeah.
so just giving Dante a little side eye and kind of.
I mean, keep in mind that I did save you from slavery and then brought you all the way up here, so.
And of course, I do have to ask, how deep into the woods are you willing to go? Are you just going to stand at the edges of it, or are you going to actually go in and start walking around and exploring?
Who, me?
Yes.
I guess whatever my feelings tell me. I trust my boss.
Right, I'm 100% staying at the edge. I'm not going in, but I am encouraging Zamek to go all the way. Or
Like
at
I
least
said,
to the point where I can't see him anymore.
My boss has never steered me wrong before, and he did save me from slavery, so I do have that trust in him. So I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm going
Whoa.
to
Don't-
channel my my spirit and figure out where I should be going.
All right.
And that's what I rolled.
Alright, you did get one success. You do sort of track your way through the forest for a little bit, just kind of enjoying a bit of a hike, and you avoid rolling your ankle off of one of the small little inclines.
Oh,
The
come on,
cliffs
I'm a
honestly
cat.
aren't any greater than 5 feet at any point. It is still mostly flat ground. But you take a pleasant stroll. You notice a few of the different types of trees. They seem to be doing well. And in fact, it seems like a wide number of berries actually are starting to grow. The place is a little dark further in that you go, mostly just due to the branches obscuring everything up above. But Dante, as you walk, you notice that you've stumbled across somewhere slightly familiar. And your eyes sort of dart to a tree that you've seen before, and you can still see a slashed mark in the bark of it.
Oh, dear
And
God.
you too would notice this, Hugo.
Okay, I head towards the tree.
Alright. And you used to live in a tribal village. You can definitely recognize someone who's hit a tree with an axe. This definitely bears that same sort of marking. It's no wolf or wild animal here.
Okay.
But aside from that, that is all that you've seen here so far.
I reach my hand out and I touch the marks on the tree.
Alright. It definitely feels like tree bark. And it looks like the mark that's been made in it has healed over time inside the tree. Looks like it's mostly scabbed over and has healed partially.
I
Is
usually
it
carry
It's
a
incomplete.
I usually carry a cane with me, right? I feel like around this time I'm holding the cane out in front of me in a very defensive measure.
Hmm.
do I see anything inside the scar like growing around like something embedded in the tree?
You take a little closer look and go ahead and roll me observation academics to investigate specifically a tree. 2 successes. So, from what you understand, if this mark has been, if this is an old mark, it probably should have healed over by now. But as you take a look closer into it, it looks like some sort of fungus has grown inside of it. Something a little bit orange that actually seems to be flowering a little bit. You've never known any sort of parasitic fungus or anything like that that would grow on a tree that would also produce something that resembles a flower bud.
Okay. At the sight of this, I turn around to Dante and I go, "Is this what is this?"
I feel like I'm gonna stop talking with an accent. I'm gonna start talking with my real voice. Because, yes, Dante's been putting on an accent, as you may have picked up from this being my hometown. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I gotta come clean with you, man. I was raised here. I was born here. A lot of my friends died in these woods. I don't know what the hell is going on, man. Ooh, I feel faint.
Dante,
I,
you hear the rustling bushes, and you see a white fur, rabbit approaching.
Sorry, you say rabbit ears?
Yes.
Oh god, it's that guy I pulled out of my hat.
Do you do anything?
I mean, I'm holding my cane out in front of me in a defensive measure because I don't want to get my... Well, I suppose we'll all find out in a minute.
Okay. You hold out your cane defensive measure, and a woman steps out. A nice-looking rabbit woman, dressed in what seems like sort of old army fatigues that have been slightly repurposed. But you do notice a tag or a badge up on her shoulder, and it says Wildlife Preservation. She looks at you and just blinks a little incredulously. Oh, hello there. Have a nice stroll today?
Yeah. Me and my friend here, we were just taking a constitutional. Yeah, we felt like we needed some fresh air, trees, too many city vapors.
Nice day for it. It's good we finally got a shower. I think everything's finally starting to open up now that they got a bit of moisture. Hi,
Oh yeah.
I'm Sydney, by the way. And she'll just sort of approach and hold out her hand to shake.
Uh, you can call me Zamek.
Ah,
Oh, good to
pleasure. I mean, a pleasure. I am Dante, the original.
Nice to meet you. I work here with the State Wildlife Preservationist Society. I've been keeping around eye on this area for a few years. Do you happen to come around here often?
Well, it's my first time here, but my boss, he spoke very highly of this place. Very, very soothing. I'm a bit of a botanist myself. I was curious, and then I walk over to the tree. I go, I've never seen this type of fungus before. I was wondering if perhaps you could, share some insight on it. And I
Oh, well,
point
you see,
over.
this tree is what we would call a black cherry, and you can see up there it's actually starting to grow. Here, I could probably pull a few down. They aren't quite ripe, but they're still very sweet.
No,
I
no, no,
think
no.
those
I got
bushes
all.
over there are actually elderberries.
Oh, no, 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 no. I got all that. That's fine. I point over. I go, I'm talking about this thing over here, and I point in the hole of the tree where the flowers are growing out of.
Oh, this? Huh. This is strange. How did flower get up here?
I go, yeah, like I said, I have some small knowledge, and I must admit, I was a little confused. I don't normally see a plant like this, and I was wondering if perhaps, you being in the wildlife preservation, you would know.
Hmm. Well, taking a look, and she'll just like take a closer look and pull out a small spade and try to like displace it a little bit. It looks like someone shoved a daffodil in here. Yeah, you can kind of see by the look of this right here. Seems very similar,
All right,
but
and
look,
I'm
the
and I'm
coloration's a little different.
I'll go, yeah, I'm looking over his shoulder there. I know. He goes, it grows like a fungus, but it has a flower. I go, I've never seen like that, something like that before.
Yeah, it's also more orange than yellow. I wonder if maybe there's some sort of relationship between the two here. Maybe this fungus is what's allowing it to grow up against the side of this tree. Fungus is definitely keeping this wound open, though. Hmm, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Huh. Very curious. Very curious indeed. Would you by chance know anyone who could shed some light on this? I'm very curious to know. Like I said, I have some small interest in the plant life myself.
Well, I could probably dig this up and take it home and try to compare it to a few of the things in my books. But I don't think I really want to displace this. If I
Oh
haven't
no,
seen
no,
it
no.
before,
I
it
would.
could be a rare genus.
And plus, as someone who's has experience, you don't generally want to play around with fungus you don't understand. Tends to be poisonous and hallucinogenic and the like.
Absolutely. So I only touched it with the metal. Uh, but, well, I could always go ahead and remember this place for later. Maybe I could bring back a camera. Oh, you've already stumbled out and found quite a find on your first walk.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Suppose we should start
What?
naming it after you.
And I go, quite possibly, but what brings you out here in this fine afternoon?
Oh, well, I was just sort of doing my regular duties and patrols. I'm just sort of, seeing if there's anything. I'm trying to figure out the right way to word this. I'm just trying to see if there's any changes in the wildlife and plant life out here. It's
I
been
see.
a reasonably warm summer up until now, but
Have you
everything
noticed?
seems like it's not going to dry out. So I'm very happy about that.
Have you noticed anything weird with the wildlife out here?
Hmm. Suppose not. I guess it's decreased lately, but that sort of happens when you have an urban area nearby.
So nothing else unusual besides the weird fungus we.
Well, aside from this, no, I'm afraid I haven't noticed anything. Why, is there something you're concerned about?
No, just curious.
She'll sort of nod a little bit. So are you two staying in town? I don't stay in town myself. I have a place up the road.
Oh no, we're just passing by.
Oh, I
Like I said,
see.
my
I see.
my 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 boss apparently has some familiar history with this place, and decided, we take a nice little stroll out here, and
They're like
you
behind you
know,
somewhere. I'm going.
Well,
and,
you two be sure to be careful. I had to put up some of those warning signs around here after one of the kids rolled their ankles.
yes,
So
yes,
a kid hurt themselves out here?
Yeah. Kids in the town apparently just decide to come out over here to play every now and then.
Really? Kids just do that now.
I'll just shrug a little bit. Well, I'm not going to discourage anyone who wants to just sort of investigate nature, but if I see them, I do warn them not to go too far.
No, you
It's
don't.
easy to get lost once you lose your sense of direction.
Right, and you don't think that's unsafe for children to come out here?
Well, that I do, but I'm not their parents. And she'll just sort of shrug a little bit. And
it
if they're
was a
willing to let their
simpler
children
time.
go out that far, well, who am I to stop it?
A simpler time. Well,
But she will,
that
yeah,
you
go ahead.
know, I shake her hand. I go, nice meeting you. You know, hopefully
Nice
we can
meeting
meet
you as
us.
well. Maybe if you come
Hopefully we
back
can.
around, we'll, bump into each other again.
Yeah, I hope so. Have a nice.
Alright, you two stay safe out here. And she'll just sort of, continue on. She'll pull out, like, a cane of her own and keep walking.
All right. I look over to Dante, and I'm like, listen, boss. I just covered for you, and first of all, I'm gonna be like, where the fuck? What the hell happened with that other accent? And number two, I'm gonna be like, what's up? Why did you bring me out here?
What other accent? What did you cover for me? What are you talking about? You almost gave away. Do you not know? After all these years of performing, do you not know what the prestige is? We
And I just rolled
live
my.
in our act all the time. Do
I'm
not
sorry,
give
boss.
away my history. Everybody thinks I'm from.
Yeah, everybody thinks you're from someplace else, but somehow you know about this place. We're gonna table that discussion for a later date and time. But yeah, what, like, I'm pointing at the fungus thing. I'm like, what? Like, I don't. What do you want me to do with this?
I don't know. I do not know what that is. You see this, and I like run my finger along where the mold is growing. That is from an axe. An axe that almost killed me.
Okay, where's the axe?
I don't
I'm looking.
know. I ran away.
And who tried to kill you?
I. Someone who is very successful at killing other kids.
Wait, I go, yeah, the other kids from the place you're not from.
No, other kids that were from here that I
That
grew
you're
up
not from.
with.
Yeah,
Stop being
exactly.
an idiot, Zamek. I know you're. I didn't bring you back from South America so you could do this to me now.
Okay, so bunch of your friends were killed here?
I don't know about friends, but they were children that I hung out with, as myself a child.
How long ago was it?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you want me to do math now? Sorry, now I actually have to do math. Let's see, 1876 to... We'll just round it. I'd say at about 30 to 40 years.
So 30 or 40 years ago, something with an axe tried to kill you and killed some kid. And all you have left is this scar on the tree?
Well, if they're letting children play in these woods, then I guess there's not even a story left behind. You'd think that the parents of this town would remember when a bunch of kids were murdered in the woods, but
I go, well, maybe they're just all too afraid to talk about what happened out here. And I turn around and I'm still kind of not feeling anything, but I'm taking my boss's word for it. So I'm just like, whatever happened out
well, I mean, I've probably
here.
gone from hyperventilating to a little bit calmer now, especially since somebody just wandered through here and told us about how all these kids are playing in here now these days, and it's like, oh yes, this is the McDonald's ball pit where everybody got murdered, but we're all good now.
That was a long time ago. You're really too much into it,
Yeah, and
boss.
all the kids are playing in the ball pit again. And it's like, wait a second.
We're like, oh, listen, boss, I'm gonna be completely straight with you. You know, I try to reach out with my senses and nothing. I'm not getting anything except for the fact that I know for I'll point back. I know for a fact that's not natural. Right, Griff? I'm assuming that that fungus thing is not natural.
It's something you've never seen before.
But then again, it is the 1920s. There's probably a lot of stuff you've never seen before.
Whether or not it's natural or not, I mean, it seems to be an organism. It's growing. It's in a weird place. You have the facts in front of you.
All right. Well, whatever. This thing doesn't conform to any rules that I know about how plants are supposed to work.
But there's a flower
So,
growing in the mold, you said?
yes. Apparently, there's flowers growing inside this fungus.
Flowers.
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
Someone has some feedback.
Why? What'd you hear? Is it me?
Just static. Just a whole bunch of his static.
Oh, I said I was gonna pull one of the flowers.
One of the
I would-
bars?
Before you reach your hands, I grab you and I go, I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
Either we discover something now, and I never sleep again, or we take one of these flowers and we research it in a book later, like that nature person said.
Okay. Fair enough. But let's do this a little bit more carefully. And I take out a pocket knife.
Take
And
out
I
a
open it
20-foot pole.
and I go, do you have a pouch or something? I'm sure as a magician, you have all kinds of pouches and containers that you play around
We've
with.
been working together how long now? Hold on a second. I'm gonna change the server. I think the server is messing us up.
Yeah, because I'm on
It's
yellow
been
right
a
now.
rough day here.
I just looked at mine and even mine's on yellow.
Alright, that changes back to the US.
Okay.
Okay. And so yeah, I just turn to you. I go, I'm assuming you do have a container somewhere on your person.
I have pockets, yes.
Um, and I just carefully cut out a small piece of flour, and I tell him to carefully stow this away someplace where, he doesn't touch it with his skin, lest some poison or chemical.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm wearing
Uh,
gloves anyway, so.
Yeah, you carefully cut out the flour, and this isn't a difficult thing to do. It's a flour; it doesn't resist you. But when you start to cut it off, a little bit of red sap pours out from the point of incision on both ends. It's a little sticky.
Okay, I take a sniff. I
It
am a,
smells
I
a
am a,
little. Yeah,
I am a cat after all, so I guess I would sniff.
yeah. You can go ahead and take a sniff of it, and it smells a little bit like iron.
Ooh,
Like
you
blood,
like,
you mean?
like blood?
Well, is it blood? What do you have to identify if it is blood?
I have the same observation academics mind thing that I had
That is
before.
true. Go ahead and give me a check to see if you can identify this clearly as blood. That is 2 successes. It definitely seems like it is, but on closer inspection, it seems a little bit different. It's certainly thicker.
And as I'm sniffing and looking at this, I'm just going, interesting. He goes, you
And if you kind of put your hand like flat, it actually forms into sort of a almost semi-solid drop.
I go, you definitely know how to find the interesting and weird things, boss. Never a dull moment with you. And I guess I carefully wipe the blade with a handkerchief or something and then fold it up carefully so the fluid doesn't leak out anywhere. And I stick it in with the plants in whatever container Dante decided.
Well,
Okie doke.
like I said, I've got pockets. I'm a magician.
Whatever.
I've got lots of pockets.
Yep, you can go ahead and put in your 4th pocket down, like right next to the conjoined colorful rope. The one you
Wow.
pull out that just never
It's
ends.
probably like the 4th button down on my suit. Has a quick reach, like thumb pocket.
Yep.
But I mean,
So
I'm just really confused right now. I mean, as Dante is just really confused right now. It's like all your childhood fears, and you go to confront them, and they're not there. It's like, what do I do?
That's a good question. What do you plan to do next right now?
Well, I clap my boss across his shoulder and I walk him back towards the truck and I go, well, tell me more about this horrific childhood event that has traumatized you so. Maybe we could piece together something.
Truly,
And figure out.
yours was a life meant for therapy, wasn't it?
Trust me, whatever happened to you can't be anywhere nearly as bad as what happened to me.
In my travels in Germany, I heard of this man who you might toodle under. Freud was his name.
But yeah, I'm like, tell me. Like, I guess at this point we just need to find some clues or maybe some. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't feel anything here.
As I said, I've just told you, I was attacked by a thing. It killed a bunch of the people that I was hanging out with. I managed to escape. Others did not.
What time of the day did this happen?
I guess. What time of day is it right now?
Right now it's still before noon.
I'd say probably around noonish. We were skipping school, so had to have been around school time.
Well, I mean, the only other option. I mean, I look around. The only other option I could think of is we could just sit around a while and see what happens next. I mean, eventually, if something is out here, it would come out.
Yes, but they said that the children were playing in the woods now. If children have been playing in the woods for 30 to 40 years, then...
Actually, I go, and as you say that, I go, actually, they would probably know better than any adult in this town what goes on in these woods.
I didn't get any creepy vibes from the nature reservist, did I?
She seemed nice and friendly enough.
She
Do you want to
didn't-
make some kind of roll?
Yeah, she didn't have like a silhouette that reminded me of something, or...
Well, what do you have to determine if she is perfectly genuine?
Observation. I mean, you don't use deceit to read into someone else's deceit, so I guess observation is all I have.
Right, but you didn't ask any questions at the time, and she's already moved on. So
Right, but
you
I
only
mean-
have observation to work with.
Yeah.
Mind, I suppose.
Yep. Two success.
All right, with 2 successes, she definitely seemed nice and friendly. Maybe a little bit too much. She did ask a good bit of questions about you. Seemed curious. It moved on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You can't really tell what's up with her, but you get the feeling maybe there's more to it.
I'm just gonna put you in the
way she
state of...
reacted to the way she reacted to the flower also seemed a little bit curious.
The,
Zamek has been baffled by it this whole time, but she just sort of took it in stride.
the state of mind that I'm in right now is that I'm trying to identify Jason Voorhees by Jason Voorhees' mother's silhouette, right? You get what I'm getting by here?
I do. As far as you can tell from your long recollected memory of the event and this person, you really are not sure if they happen to share a whole lot of characteristics. You had but a few seconds to truly gaze upon her.
Right, but I've relived that moment for like every nightmare ever since.
Right, but 40 years on is the wrong time to be asking those questions, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get you.
Maybe if you find her again, you can
Yeah, I guess it's a bit late now since we've trailed our way back to the van, or truck.
So I'll just ask, where do you intend to go next?
Well, I asked Dante, do you want to visit someone? I have to do a little errand.
Yes,
Well, we're out.
if you want to drop me off on the street, I will. There are things I probably should do while I am here. If you want to go and take care of some things, I will meet you. I'll meet you at the library.
No problem. He guides me back into town. Like, I'm assuming he knows where the library is.
Assuming the town hasn't changed in 30 to 40 years.
It has not. Like I said, aside from the new mechanic and gas station combo, not very much. Where are you going to go?
He's going to the library. I'm going to go to the place that I told you about in the DM.
Well, I'm not going to the
Yeah.
library. That's where we're going to meet back up at
Oh.
later.
Right,
Fine.
right. So my question was where next exactly? So that I'm aware.